press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Welcome back, dear students, to your economics class. Hope you people are doing well. Okay, so we had started to learn about globalization and the Indian economy, right? So we were dealing with the same. We came across many things here related to globalization and even Indian economy. So how globalization is helping. So still we have to connect the globalization with Indian economy. But yes, we had started with how the trade began in India, what actually is trade, okay, what are the definition of goods and services, even we did discuss about consumer and the consumer rights, etc. So today let us know a very important topic, okay, that is related to your chapter itself, and see why I have taken up this particular topic is you have to understand what exactly used to happen, and after this particular organization came into existence in relation to trade, how the things changed. Okay, that is the main motto. Like I want you people to understand it in a thorough manner. Now I may say, I can just tell that WTO is the organization, it came into existence, it helped in trading, and that is how the free trade did carry out. It was, I can just finish it off. But if you do not understand what exactly had happened or what exactly did take place, why this WTO or say GATT came into existence, you may not you may feel it incomplete. So I have taken it as a topic today. Okay, so let me discuss this particular thing. See, as the foreign trade, okay, as the foreign trade started gaining much more importance, you know, this foreign trade has helped in many ways, right? We have already discussed about it. The basic function is most of the people, they got the opportunities to sell their product not only in domestic market but even in foreign market. So that was the main thing, right? They got an opportunity there. Apart from that, they even got an opportunity to have to give a tough competition to the foreign people or say foreign market. In the foreign market, they could withstand all this like the competition. So that was the main thing. So when it comes to the WTO, see, before I start with WTO, let me tell you a few things here. What used to happen, this foreign trade, as the foreign trade started gaining importance, as the foreign trade started gaining importance, no doubt there are so many fights, or say, or there would be the rules and regulations, there would be clashes with countries who would settle. Now what happens, imagine you people fight. This is a very common thing, right? In class, if at all, imagine you people fight for one or the other thing. Now if at all the fight increases, your class teacher or probably the subject teacher, whosoever comes there, they would try to settle it. Now this happens. Imagine there is some clash between some lecturers or say teachers. Who would deal with that? The principal, right? Principal sir or principal madam will be dealing with those fights. Now if there is any clashes with the management, definitely some upper hand will be there to solve it. Imagine the foreign trade will be carried out between nations, right? No doubt it is between the people or say person itself. But if there are any clashes between those people or say those nations, then who has to take care? Who will solve the problem, right? So that is the reason we badly needed an organization to settle down certain things. This was one thing. The other was what they used to do, they never used to treat the foreign materials, whatever they used to import, as their own. Okay, those materials were never to be treated as own, and that would be dumped like anything, or they would use it in a very wrong manner and all, which was very wrong. There was no national treatment given to it. Once, see, whenever you are purchasing something for yourself, once it reaches your home, what you will be treating it as? It belongs to you itself. You treat it as though it is yours, right? That feeling automatically comes. But here with the trade and all, that was not happening. And there was something called most favored nation. Nothing but, favoring one nation. Now imagine you have this, you have this in your class itself. Imagine there are students called A, B, C and D. Now these four are friends, there is some person called PQR. They are not that good with this, like kind of enemy, or say not, they are not having great relationship between like PQR group and ABCD group is not good with each other. Imagine there is another group, that is MNO, like this another group is there. Now what happens if at all there is A's birthday? A has got the birthday, the person is wants to enjoy the birthday, they have got cake or say even chocolates and all. So what he or she does, they will be most favoring, right? Because they are your friends, you would give more a big piece of cake or say even more chocolates, right? That will be distributed here. When it comes to PQR, you will be like, why I should give? So let us give very less, right? And here, MNO, they are good with, not much good, but good, kind of good. So what you will do, you will not much favor, but at least you favor them, right? Yes. So if at all, imagine there is a fight between P and B. If there is a fight between P and B, what A will be doing? A will be favoring B itself, right? Because they are in, they are having a good relationship. So they will be supporting the B itself. So this used to take place. So this was happening. So what used to happen? Imagine these are four nations, or imagine now there is a nation called A, P and C and D, Now these are four nations. A is having good relationship with C and even D. Not in good relationship with B. Now A is selling certain goods to all the nation, not it's not about only one nation. A is selling some goods, maybe let's take shirt or even some garment, whatever you want to take, any of the product. So now A is selling it to P, C and D. Now as C and D are in favor of A would put less tax, or say give it at lesser price, sell it at lesser price. Now as it is not in good relationship with P, but even then trading is something, even if you are not friendly, you have to carry out the trade. Business is something like that itself. With enemies also you would trade sometimes, right? So you might ask, ma'am, if at all they are not in favor, why we have to have any trade between them? So don't go with that, What happens? Business is something to gain profit. Definitely you have to trade with each and every person here. So here now see, as A is having good relationship with C and D, definitely there is most favored nation. Nothing but selling the goods at lesser price and selling the goods at more price to one who is not in favor. This is one thing. The second thing, whenever you are importing, imagine A is importing certain things from these nations. As C and D are in good terms with A, as C and D are in good terms with A, the tax put here, whatever tax they would put would be less compared to P. This is another way. So most favored nation, so there would be disputes. There would be lot and lot of disputes. Now who has to solve it? there has to be some person to solve it, right? So that is where GATT felt that, okay, like GATT was an organization that came into existence. So the full form of GATT is General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, or say Tariff and Trade. So General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, nothing but you would have trade agreements here. Okay, so that is where the GATT came into existence and most of the nations, they agreed for it. Okay, so see, these organizations and all, they come into existence whenever they feel that, okay, we are having problem, we have to get it solved. To solve this, if at all we have to set one or any of the organization, then let us do it. Now GATT came into existence because of that itself, as there were many problems in the trade. This was one thing, most favored nation, and there was something else, like they used to dump, okay, dumping, subsidies used to be given, so all these things. So this, to stop all these things, we needed some organization. Earlier it was GATT, but GATT did not work very well. They did not concentrate much upon these things, okay, like or say the most favored nation was still carried out. There was no national treatment for the products that is to enter the nation. These things were still carried out, okay, these things still never stopped. So that's the reason later on all the nations started feeling that, and there were many more what I can say, disputes between the nation. So disputes was like, it was very common, and that's the reason the GATT started feeling that it is not working very well. So even the countries, most of the nations which were there as member of GATT, even they started feeling that GATT is not at all working very well. So what did they do? They came up with an organization. They decided that yes, we need some different organization so that there shall be uniform trade, nothing but uniform trade laws, okay, and there has to be something called free trade, okay, there has to be free and fair trade. It is not only free trade, okay, it is not only about free trade, but even a fair trade. To carry out the fair trade, what did they decide? All the nations, they came up with another organization, that is WTO, nothing but World Trade Organization. Okay, they came up with a new organization called WTO, that is World Trade Organization. So let us know about World Trade Organization. What are the objectives? Why this had to come into existence? What are the principles that has been laid down? Very first objective, see, let us know about the World Trade Organization, like in a like whatever it is required, I am telling it here. See, this organization, it regulated the international trade. So regulation of international trade was very much important, because see, no doubt foreign trade was something that was an encouragement, right? Foreign trade was welcomed by each and every nation equally. They wanted to have the recognition globally, so they carried out the foreign trade. To make foreign trade very easy, WTO came into existence so that all the foreign nations will have a uniform law. So that was the main thing. So this thing came into existence to regulate the international trade. So when was the setup? It was set on 1st January, or say it came into existence on 1st January 1995. Okay, 1995. So this came into existence with Marrakesh Agreement. Okay, officially it came into existence on 1st Jan 1995, that too with Marrakesh Agreement. And earlier it was signed by 123 nations during 1994. Almost 123 nations. Now I guess all the 193 nations have signed for it. Okay, some 193 or now 194, I am not sure about it. But earlier, when this particular thing came into existence, almost 123 nations signed the WTO agreement. Okay, they said that okay, we want the World Trade Organization, we want to be the member. Okay, we want to be the member, so that is where they agreed for this. And WTO, this totally replaced GATT. Earlier it was GATT. As GATT did not work very well, so WTO totally replaced the GATT here. Next is they deal with everything, that is agriculture, textiles, clothing, banking, telecommunications, anything that is related to the trade. Any dispute that is related to trade or anything that is related to trade, those things are dealt with or say dealt by WTO. So WTO came into beginning of this particular, that is 1st Jan 1995, and it extended the GATT. So like see, earlier GATT was there, GATT was set up, GATT had certain limitation. Now WTO took over GATT, and there was you can consider it as though there was no limitations and all. Okay, so that is where the WTO came into existence. So like what are the facts when it comes to WTO? As WTO, its headquarters is in Geneva, that is Switzerland. Okay, the location, and it was established, as you all know, 1st Jan 1995. Created by Uruguay round. Okay, and there are almost 162 countries in 2015. Now 162 countries are members of WTO, and see why this WTO has come into existence is to arrange the implementation, administration and operation of trade agreements. So very first objective, okay, very first objective, okay, like let us know the objective why it has come into existence is to bring up, see, as foreign trade. When we speak about foreign trade, definitely there would be problem, one or the other way there will be many more problems. To solve these problems, okay, to solve these problems, WTO has come into existence so that people can have a fair and free trade. The second one is to settle the disputes. Dispute Settlement Board. The WTO, the GATT did not have this. Okay, the GATT did not have any settlement board here, but WTO has come up with a board, that is a dispute settlement board. Okay, it has come up with a settlement board wherein it settles all the disputes that too related to trade between the nations. Whenever there is a trade related any of the disputes, then WTO is the one which will be settling such disputes. So next is the trade relation is issues deals with all the agreements, whatever trade related agreements, whatever they have done, and if any violation of all those agreements, okay, whatever agreement they have done, and if there is any violation, then those will be dealt by the WTO itself. So to manage effectively and efficiently the trade policies, so there are trade policies given. So to manage all those trade policies, WTO has come into existence. To create together relationship, okay, to bring all the nations under one roof, to bring all the nations under one roof, nothing but there should not be any dispute. The nations should not face any of the dispute. They should not have any dispute there. So that's the reason this particular WTO has come into existence. So those objectives, okay, to meet those objectives, WTO has come into existence. So let us know the functions of WTO. Okay, very first function is administering WTO trade agreements. Nothing but say whenever nations, now as I told you A, P, C, D, right, like whenever they are having any trade, if they are planning to have any trade, definitely before getting into trade they have to make an agreement so that further they should not face any problem. Further there should not be any disputes. To avoid the disputes, what they have planned is they want to have a agreement. Agreement is nothing but there will be terms and conditions. Okay, the terms and conditions from both the nations. You have to fulfill these terms and conditions. The other nation also will be telling you have to fulfill all these terms and conditions. If both agree for those terms and conditions, Definitely there would be free and fair trade. The next is forum for trade negotiation. Negotiation may be price related negotiation, tax related negotiation, law, I don't think so, like a law related anything, but yes, negotiation related to the terms and condition, whatever terms they have come up with, maybe the terms whatever they have mentioned may not be favorable, or probably it is like not acceptable in nature. So if these things happen, then there would be negotiation, there will be a negotiation. Then handling trade disputes, as I told you, again the objective and function. Okay, objective is nothing but goal. What is the goal? To settle the dispute. Function is also same. So trade dispute, settling down the trade disputes. To settle the trade disputes, again they have a different settlement board here. So that is another that is the another function of this WTO. So monitoring national trade policies. So all these trade policies are been given. Okay, as GATT did not work very well, WTO never took any chance. They came up with policies. Okay, they came up with policies saying that each and every nation, whenever they are planning to get into any of the trade, okay, they should follow these policies. Nothing but I'll be dealing with that. Okay, and principles I'll be telling those things. So what are the policies they came up with? We'll be dealing in principles. So next is like trade policies and technical assistance and training for developing countries. If at all any technical helps are needed, or even if they need any assistance or say training for the developing countries, okay, not the developed nation. Like developed nations, they will be knowing how to carry out the trade and all. They will not be having any issues there. So developing nations always they will be having, or say they face issues. So to deal with those issues, these WTO has given certain policies there, or even the assistance, they are giving technical assistance. Cooperation with other international organization. See, apart from this, apart from WTO, you have other organization, okay, international organizations are there, okay, just like UNO, United Nations Organization. You have like the other organizations, okay, international organizations, maybe like it is related to, not only now this is related to World Trade Organization, you have World Health Organization, right? So all those are like it is related to international organization. To have good relationship even with those organization, this has come into existence. So what are the principles here? Very first principle is like most favored nation to be removed. Nothing but never should have favorism. Never should follow any favorism here. Don't follow the favorism, because if at all you are planning to favor any of the nation, that would be very difficult. As I told you here, favorism, right? Whenever you are having favor, yeah, the person has helped you, so let me show some favor. So if those favorism is carried out, or if those favorism is shown here, then it would be very difficult, because there would be differences, again there would be disputes. To stop with this, they have come up with the thing saying that the principle, nothing but most favored nation to be stopped. Okay, treat each and every nation equally. If you are putting tax of so and so amount or so and so percentage on one of the nation for one of the product, see that you put the same tax price even for the other nation. Don't follow any of the most favored nation. So that was the first principle. The second principle is national treatment. It is nothing but once the goods enters the territorial waters. What is this territorial waters? You might have studied it in geography, or probably you will be learning it. See, imagine now you have you have this India map, okay, like south I have taken. So here you have water, right? Sea. You have Arabian Sea here, you have Bay of Bengal, you have Indian Ocean here, right? So what is territorial water? From here 12 nautical miles, okay, from the land, okay, from the land border 12 nautical miles. So that is territorial water. And once the goods, okay, once the goods reaches, okay, from ship itself it has to reach, right? So once it enters this particular, okay, place, from then itself it has to be treated as though it belongs to your nation itself. So national treatment, nothing but treat the goods you are importing from different nation as though it belongs to your nation itself. Understood? Whatever it might be, either it is used as a raw material, or maybe as a finished goods itself you are using, it is totally different. But once the goods reaches this 12 nautical mile, okay, from the beginning of 12 nautical mile itself, okay, the territorial water what we call, so once it reaches there, from then itself you have to treat it as though it belongs to your nation. So national treatment, the second principle, okay, so that is the second principle. The third is trade without discrimination, nothing but again most favored nation. You should not discriminate, you should never bring any discrimination there. Next is free trade. Free trade. WTO has come for the sake of free trade itself. See that you remove the dispute. There should be free trade, no favorism, okay, you should remove the barrier, liberalization, okay, all those things. So free trade, let the trade be free without any without no doubt you can have negotiate if you feel that okay the terms and condition are not in favor, okay, if at all you are feeling that the agreement is having certain terms and condition which is not acceptable in nature, do negotiate, but see that you have the free trade. Predictability, nothing but through binding and transparency, okay, keep the transparency, let the trade be transparent, let the terms and condition be totally what I can say is totally understandable, okay, let it be transparent, let it be known to each other what exactly you are doing, what exactly you are trading, how the trade policies will be applicable, how the laws will be applicable, let it be transparent in nature. Understood? So transparency, you have to maintain the transparency there. So promoting competition, fair competition, okay, so fair trade, fair competition. You have to give tough competition to another company or even the another person whosoever is producing the same product. But that doesn't mean that you have to fight with that particular person, need not to. So fair competition, something that is you should not use all the means, very illegal means of competition, illegal means to have good meeting the standards, or say to have a business in the foreign nation, you should not follow all the illegal manners. So no, it should be fair trade, okay, it should be fair and free trade. So the next is encouraging development and economic reference or reforms. Okay, so when it comes to economic reform, see, as you are following globalization, okay, as globalization is helping Indian economy, you have to keep in mind the economy. You should think about your nation first. But that doesn't mean like you are creating loss to another nation. No, definitely not. You should see that you give a fair competition, okay, tough and fair competition, like free trade. With that, see that you even think about the economy of your nation. Try to contribute towards the economy of the nation. So that is another principle here. So this is all about the principles of WTO. So when it comes to WTO role, okay, so it helps the industries. See the advantage, Okay, what is the advantage? Why WTO has to come into existence? See, earlier when this WTO was not there, okay, when this WTO was not there, what had happened was, so there were many more disturbances, or say usually there were many more disputes which were taking place. So to stop this, okay, so like this particular thing has come into existence. Okay, so WTO has come into existence just to stop all the disputes. Most of the people, they carried out the business. No doubt they used to carry out business. So this WTO has come into existence to make the things liberal. Okay, so liberalization, as I came up with the topic of liberalization, they have mentioned WTO. See, WTO, they have given that there should be no barriers, trade between countries should be free, all the countries, okay, all the countries should be like, they have to follow the free trade. Okay, there should be free trade without any disputes. So if at all you have this most favored nation, definitely that would lead to a dispute, right? To stop all these disputes, this particular thing has come into existence. So WTO is one such organization who aims, or whose aim is to liberalize international trade. To liberalize international trade, to make it a free trade, free and even the fair trade. Okay, liberalize the things. Let it be free trade. Let us not have a dispute. Let us not have any barriers to that. If there are barriers, definitely there would not be any free trade. So that's the reason WTO has come into existence. So WTO rules have forced the developing countries to remove trade barriers. As WTO has come into existence, it has forced the countries whosoever is a part of WTO. Now imagine P, okay, P is the nation which is the member of WTO, but C is not a member. Okay, imagine C is not a member of WTO, but when C is having trade with P, it is considered as though C also is the member of WTO, because as P is the member, it is considered as though C also, it is deemed, okay, it is deemed to be like C also is the like part and parcel of WTO. So whenever a nation which is not a member of WTO is trading with any of the member, whosoever is a member of WTO, then the other country is automatically will be considered as though it is the member of WTO. Understood? So this is all about WTO, how GATT has been GATT came into existence, but that did not work well, and how WTO came into existence and how it is working till day, how the principles are followed, how it has been, or how it is having a good hold on trading system. So we have understood these things. Now I can take up the things further which will be dealt in the next class. So dear students, if you have any doubts regarding WTO, please let me know. I don't think so that is like see, whenever though like WTO they have mentioned just as WTO, if at all I would do the same thing, definitely you would not understand why WTO is gaining that much of importance. So that's the reason I have taken the topic. So in the next class we'll be dealing with how globalization is helping the country, or say how it has contributed towards increasing the GDP, and how globalization has helped to increase Indian economy, or whether it is helping, whether it is a boon or a bane. Like, let us know about all those things in the next class. Thank you so much for your patience, dear students. Enjoy your day. Have a great day. Thank you.